And welcome to another round of Sports Views. Tonight I'm previewing the MLS Cup between Portland Timbers and New York City FC. Tonight I'm going to do it live so I can get it done before these storms. I don't have to worry about uploading it and anything. I may have a guest popping on. Watch this on review or whatever. Recap, review, live, whatever. You can do what you want. So for me, while I'm waiting, I'm going to talk about my keys to the game, what I think about each team, and my prediction. And I'll see if Rocky pops up. If he doesn't, he doesn't. I warned him. I have to get this done, so not warned him, but I told him. I should say told him. Warned him sounds bad, but you know what I'm saying. So first off, my keys to the game for both sides. We'll start with the Portland Timbers. What's up, Wolf Boy? When it comes to the Portland Timbers, I think they need to start off on the front foot and stay on the front foot like they did against RSL. They're a team that should attack and go forward and play hard and press hard. They did well against RSL, a very good side, a strong side. And I think NYCFC is in the same sort of predicament. They weren't even good against the Philadelphia Union C team. So for me, as a Portland fan, you're going to want them to stay on the front foot and get on the front foot as quick as they can and just keep it pushing. With that being said, they're a team that needs to be intact, quick, good defensively, good offensively, simpatico. It's a team that needs to be strong. So for me, Portland needs to be working together, stay on the front foot, and not lose connection with each other. New York, on the other hand, they're definitely a high-pressing team. I think a high press could hurt that at times. So New York just needs to stick to what they know and what got them here. If they try to change anything and change it up, that either really could help them or it could hurt them. And I don't think they should change it up. So with me, the way it sees, I don't know, he wants to come back. But with that being said, the way it seems is that the way Portland plays could be hurt by New York, but they need to play in a certain way to hurt that. So for me, New York needs to high press, keep to what they know, and that's how they should play this game. With that being said, I think Portland's the better team. They're definitely a stronger side. They want to win this game. It's in front of their fans. They know exactly what they need and what they want. So with that being said, when it comes to the Timbers, I think they are 100% the favorites here. There is no question about it whatsoever that the Portland Timbers are the favorites in this matchup. No question. They're way better than New York. They've had a better path here. They've had a stronger path here. They've done everything completely right. New York has been a team that has been a very situational team. They won a penalty shootout, and then when it comes to it, hop on, okay? Hop on, okay? I told you I'd start. Hop on, okay? Hit the link. Go to your Instagram, hit the link, hop on. But at least I'll get my part done. We'll have about 15-ish minutes. It's getting close to St. Louis County, so I got to get this done quick. I told you about 15 minutes, so I'll let you have your piece, but I'll start with mine. So let's see if you popped up in the guest box. Not yet. With that being said, to me, Portland is a stronger team. They're a very much better team. By the way, super chats are on if you want to send one. Anybody here? Well, of course, after it's over, you can't, but whatever. With that being said, to me, Portland's a very much better team. They're a stronger team. They're at home. New York's not the team that I think works well with the conditions and the way that's being played there. So we'll see how that goes, but Portland's much better. They're the favorites, 100%, no problem. And for me, they have a team that should do just fine. Sebastian Blanco will be back. I don't know if he'll start. I would want him to, but I could see them not starting him and him being a super sub. Diego Valeri will have a last moment of greatness. Steve Clark's been great. The defense has been good. Von Ronken's been pretty passable as well. So with that being said, I'm good with that. When it comes to, there we go. I was waiting. There we go. Add to stream. There we go. There we go. There we go. None much. There we go. There we go. So I was talking about the fact that Portland has been setting up pretty well. They're a team that's on a good path, and they're stronger than New York right now. So what do you make of what I was just saying? Because you were here before you got in here. So
I know yeah, tail off of that. I think you're right. I think we have had a harder road to get here. I think we're a little bit more seasoned. We got veterans on the field. With I can call Blanco a veteran, Valeri, Diego Chara, Larry Smabiala, and then just some young additions with Santiago Moreno, huge. Dairon Espria has developed with us so well, had a stellar year. I think we're pretty stacked on forwards and wingers. And I think we have a defense that's been together for a pretty good amount of time and has really blossomed later in the season.
So, do you want Santiago Moreno to start or Sebastian Blanco? Where do you go with that?
I honestly, I would probably put in Luria for Blanco because he had a good game, and then sub in Blanco later, and then I'd actually probably start Espria and then sub in Moreno later, depending on if Jimmy or Espria fade.
And then Valeri for one of the Charas probably, so he could have his one last moment.
Yeah, give him his last 10 minutes. Give him a goal.
I think he'll get it. I honestly do. I'm very certain about it. I'd put money on it that Valeri's going to get a goal to either end it or put the dagger or even win it. I have a good feeling about that.
Yeah, that's definitely a huge vibe. I could see Valeri getting. I mean, at that point, it's just cry and build the statue.
Yeah, he'll definitely get a statue. I wouldn't be shocked. Like, he's getting a statue. Yeah. I don't know where, but like that drone shot of like Providence Park could just easily tell you where he should get the statue, because that was an amazing video. That drone video that I saw, that was amazing.
Yeah, whoever did that did a spectacular job for sure.
But for me, I think Portland's a team that should not easily beat New York, but they should easily control the game tomorrow. Now, of course, even if you control the game, anything can happen. Look at Toronto in 2019. They controlled against Seattle that year, and they allowed 3 goals and lost. So, with that being said, even if you control it, anything can happen. But Portland should easily control this game. Yeah. But New York definitely has a good defense. They have a high-pressing offense that could easily counteract what Portland would want to do. Yeah. So, with that being said, I totally see how this game could go the wrong way, but I still think Portland's the better team. For me, what player do you think is the player to watch?
I definitely like Diego Chara right now. He's, like I say, he has been the backbone and he can move forward. It's probably going to be an amazing assist to probably Espria or Jimmy. Those guys can easily score off of a well-placed ball by Diego Chara.
For me,
Go ahead.
For me, my player to watch would be either Jimmy Chara or Dairon Espria, because I'm not sure if Blanco's going to start, but I definitely think Espria hasn't had the best playoffs. Like, it's kind of weird how he finally flipped his form. Like, playoff Dairon of old is now regular season Dairon, and then playoff Dairon or regular season Dairon of old is now playoff Dairon. So I think he's going to have that moment that he normally has in the playoffs, and I think this is the game to do it, because against Minnesota, he was good, but he wasn't as ever present as he used to be in the playoffs. And then Colorado, well, we know what happened there, and then he was suspended for the Western Conference Final. But I think this is the time for him to make that moment, and I think he will. And Jimmy Chara, he's been great all postseason long. Jimmy Chara has been worth every penny they have him for, and it also helps they have his brother, so it's very simple there. But he's worth every penny he's there for. So when it comes down to both, I'd say it's Espria or Jimmy Chara for me.
No, those are definitely great picks. You're not going to lose with those guys. But you're right, the chemistry between Diego and Jimmy starting together, that's insane. Like, you got the Roldan brothers, but they don't have that same. I don't think they have that same vibe as the Chara brothers do. So, because they almost.
I kind of think the Roldan brothers are just a Aldi version of the Charas. Like, they're like, oh, we have 2 brothers and they're doing it, why don't we do it? But honestly, Jimmy and Diego are just 2 better players. They're a lot better quality than both the Roldans. Christian Roldan is good, and then Alex is just there.
Yeah.
There's a reason one plays for El Salvador and one plays for the U.S. And honestly,
Yeah.
the reason the other one plays for the U.S. is Greg Berhalter.
Yep. I like that Tim Melia choke slam.
Yeah, rock bottom.
Rock bottom.
Rock
No, that was
bottom.
so good. Yeah, the rock bottom. That was so good.
You got to
For
get
sure.
it right here. You got to get it right here with wrestling stuff. You got to get it right here. But
Sure.
with New York, I'm sort of afraid of Tati Castellanos coming back. If I was a Portland fan, I mean, I am a Portland enjoyer, but when it comes to it, but I'd be afraid of Tati Castellanos. That's the one thing I'd be afraid of.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly. You still have Tajiri Strada, you still have Thiago Andrade, you have Heber, you have all that. But when it comes to NYCFC, they are really powerful with Tati. And missing him in the Eastern Conference Final, they would have stomped out Philly had they had him, but they didn't. Of course, red card. Then he's there. But now he's back. I'd be afraid of that.
Yeah. And of course, and to be honest with you, I think they should have stomped Philly a little bit harder because they were missing so many players.
That's what we're trying to say. That was a C team and they didn't stomp them. That's why I think Portland is such a big favorite.
Yeah. I think that's huge. Like, you're not going to be playing the same caliber of team. And if anything, Portland's a lot healthier and stronger and has that, like you said, that run up form,
Right.
being almost 14 now, 14-3-1 since the loss versus Seattle. So
I would say I'd give the edge to Portland's goalkeepers, defenders, midfield, and forwards. I don't think there's anywhere that New York is that much better to where they'd be clear.
Yeah. I think New York probably has some individual players that might be better.
Definitely.
But I think
talking about the position groups, like position-wise.
Yeah. But I definitely think Portland has a lot better vibe, better chemistry.
And honestly, on the bench, Portland is just like too deep.
That's what's hard. How sub in Blanco, sub in Valeri, sub in Tui Loma if we need to. We got a lot of guys that can score goals. I think that's what's so dangerous is, Tati's their golden boot. And if you think about it, this year's golden boot wasn't like the years in the past where guys are getting 30, 40 goals.
No, it was like 25, wasn't it? Like mid-20s?
Yeah, super low. It wasn't like crazy, No.
Yeah, it wasn't like Zlatan. I mean, Zlatan and Vela basically being gone would do that, but
even Martinez's year was pretty insane.
Well, he was coming off the torn ACL, so let's give him some slack. Next year, I think Joseph will be back to where he used to be. And a full season with Pineda and all that, there you go. But with that being said, we're going to make our predictions and then get off of this one because it looks like it's going to get a bit closer, the Storms here. We had to get this. I just thought the live was a good idea, and,
No, I feel it.
So I have to upload and all that. We're a little bit later. So we'll make our predictions. I think you did a good job here. You said we set our pieces. It's not as long as I would have wanted it to be, but outside circumstances, okay?
Yeah. Hey,
Toronto, let me say this. Let me say Toronto, Portland next year will be much better, okay?
That would be awesome.
Make your prediction for the final, score line and all.
I'm doing I think a Portland win 3-1. I think one goal comes later in the half. I would like to see an early goal. I think they come later in the half, and then second half, I think we dominate and clearly show that we're a better team and score 2 more.
I think that's a great prediction for me. I'm going Portland 3-0, honestly. I'm starting to think that even though Tati Castellanos is going to have his chances, but he's going to, I don't know why, but I feel like he's just going to fail under the pressure, like coming back. And then also the way the crowd is, I just don't see him having a chance. And Morales is more of a 10 now. He doesn't really have that finishing touch he had back in the day. Then you have Rodriguez. I think there's just, honestly, with Tati in this case, I think there may be too many cooks in the kitchen,
Yeah, I can see that. I definitely heard an interview too where the New York guys didn't sound like didn't have a lot of cohesion in the locker room. So
yeah, that's also helpful. And for me, when it comes to this match, I think Portland wins 3-0. I'll give you the goal scorers too. I think early on you're going to have Asprilla around the 30th minute, Blanco around the 65th, and Valeri in the 89th, 90th, right before stoppage time. I think that's the way I see it.
That sounds like a good game.
Definitely a very unnervous game, sort of like last year for Columbus. It's going to be very unnervous, but it's going to be entertaining, you know?
I think after about 5 to 10 minutes, I think the Timbers will settle in and figure out what New York is doing, and then make a plan, make adjustments to them.
Exactly. So with that, I think that was a good preview. It's not as good as I would have wanted it to be, but again, outside circumstances, you got to do what you got to do. And thanks, Rocky, for being on here. And we did a lot of good stuff a couple of days ago, like on the weekend too, on Instagram Live. So that's good. So,
Thanks.
Of course, tomorrow I'll be back for a live stream watch along in RSR for this match. I'll be in a suit, so you'll love that, I think, everybody. And then I'll see you for the CONCACAF League final and then CONCACAF Champions League draw and all that. And there you go. So hopefully you enjoy this, where you watch this live, you watch this on replay, and hopefully you enjoy the final tomorrow. If you like this video, like it, share, subscribe, you know what it is. Tell all your friends. First off, Rocky, tell them where they can find you.
Find me at Talk in the Woods on Instagram. I'm also on Twitter and TikTok. I don't do a whole lot on there. I'm about 90% on Instagram. So follow me, check me out, do player lives.
All right. And
Sweet.
then also, if you want to support the channel, you can support by checking out my Patreon, $5, $10, or $20 a month, or just wait for the YouTube memberships, $1.99 or $5.99. We'll make those tiers up in the new year, or they'll come out in the new year. I'm going to work on those tiers because I think it's easier. So either way, there's that. I'll support by liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, hitting that big red bell notification once you subscribed. Super chats on the live streams. Hopefully tomorrow we get a couple. I'm just saying. And put this in playlist, share this with your friends and family, all that great stuff. Tomorrow, of course, RSR live for the MLS Cup. And there you go. I'm Ron and I'm out. Peace. May the best team win. See you tomorrow.
Later, Ryan.